Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, thank you. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Perfect World based on novel. So let's start. 3 of them, all of them standing in different places. Sinner's blood scattered the clouds, holy light surging into the heavens. 3 sin characters engraved in the void. This was just too dazzling, the irregular scene resplendent. I feel a bit dizzy. Hold me please. I was recently injured badly, and even now, it seems like it hasn't healed yet. My eyes are a bit dizzy. I am actually seeing things after encountering the sinner's blood descendant. When the one holding the bone mirror retreated, those dozen or so followers arrived. Those that were roaring out also felt dizzy, their entire bodies releasing a chill, taking steps backwards. It was because the scene before them was just too shocking. 3 sinners' blood descendants appeared at the same time, standing there and looking over coldly. Anyone would feel a bottomless fear. These people, even though they were powerful and followed 6 Crown King, they still felt an urge to faint. This was too unlucky. Why did they end up kicking this type of thick metal board? 6 Crown King was powerful enough. If the situation was truly bad, he might be able to escape. However, under the 3 great sinners' blood descendants' pursuit, killing them was as easy as picking vegetables. These people cursed inwardly. It really was an unlucky year. They were clearly coming here to flaunt their heroicness, yet they ended up encountering this type of inconceivable and terrifying great event. In the mountains, the creatures from all sides finally snapped back to reality. A clamoring immediately erupted from the previous dead silence. What is going on? Heavens, we didn't see incorrectly, right? 3 sinners' blood descendants have rushed into the heavens. How shocking is this? It shocks both the past and present. The crowd was stupefied. This was like something out of a legend. It was rarely seen for just a single sinner's blood descendant like this to appear, unless the sinner's blood ancestors reappeared. Today, this type of scene had a type of toppling characteristic. There were 3 that emerged at the same time, and all of them were brothers, dazzling one's eyes until they were in pain, their heads aching. The group of people were speechless, their hearts feeling indescribably shaken. At this moment, 6 Crown King was also speechless. Ning Chuan stood there, not moving, confronting the people in the mountain region ahead. A flourishing vitality pervaded the air. At this moment, those of the outside world couldn't remain calm either. The immortal Dao flower's petals revealed the matters within Nest Realm, appearing on the monument. Everyone could see what was happening. Even the sect masters of all sides felt their beards trembling, feeling unrest in their hearts. This type of scene was enough to make them feel speechless, leaving them greatly shocked. This 6 Crown King Ning Chuan is too unlucky, right? A heavenly deity said softly. Everyone felt great sympathy, feeling that it was too absurd, almost a bit hilarious. However, after a moment of thought, no one laughed out loud, instead feeling a formless pressure and terror. Stone Clan's 3 brothers, a single bloodline producing 3 supreme beings, even something this grand appeared. If they joined up together, becoming one power, in the future, who in the higher realms 3,000 provinces could contend against them? One was a dual pupil user, one with an immortal bone, and one who underwent supreme being rebirth. Just this thought alone made others' hearts heavy. If they ended up becoming a single inheritance, just this thought alone was suffocating. It was clear that this type of unmatched grand event, if 3 brothers truly walked together, there was going to be a great problem within Immortal Ancient. There was definitely going to be a frightening result. If the 3 of them joined hands, then they would sweep through Immortal Ancient, creating a horrifying scene. They would display the greatest destructive force. If they can come out alive, then once they grow up, in the future, there will be another Emperor clan in the higher realms. Someone said with a sigh. When these words were spoken, everyone was startled awake. Their hearts found it hard to calm down. This was definitely a possibility. As long as they didn't oppose each other, then that situation might truly appear. Right now, many people were hoping for the 3 brothers to fall in Immortal Ancient and not come out. Even if this couldn't happen, the fall of 1 or 2 of them was fine as well, changing their clan's fate, as well as changing the situation of the future 3,000 provinces. Otherwise, it would give them great headaches. Fallen Immortal Ridge, the creatures of all sides were greatly moved, nervous and uneasy, but at the same time, feeling agitation and excitement. This was an unmatched battle between heavenly talents. Who are you saying has sinner's blood? On the mountain region, the dual-pupiled Shi spoke. His eyes swirled, releasing precious splendor as he stared at Six-Crowned King, and also at those followers. In the void, there was unexpectedly lightning produced. This was not created because of precious techniques, but instead a naturally produced phenomenon that appeared for him. All three of you are. Ning Chuan, you think you are worth shit? Does the Great Tao need you to protect it? Do you truly believe that you can represent the will of heavens? Shahao said coldly. Those following behind said, towards you all, our inheritances precisely represent heaven's will. We are here precisely to suppress descendants of great vicious beings like yourselves who sin and cause chaos. There were some followers who, despite being uneasy, still felt that they couldn't cower back. What sin, what disorder? What part of our blood is unclean? Why don't you explain it for me? Shi asked extremely coldly. His pupils shone, releasing astonishing radiance that exuded a great pressure, making heaven and earth tremble greatly. That person cried out, not suffering an attack, but feeling as if his soul was going to sink just from being looked at by those eyes alone. His face became pale, and he couldn't help but cry out in horror. Six-Crowned King's snow-white sleeve moved. With a light wave, that person recovered. He hurriedly moved back, hiding behind Ning Chuan. A great battle was about to unfold. Ning Chuan was divine like jade, his beautiful face without a blemish. Silver hair hung down to his waist. He faced the three great experts alone, walking forward. He took the initiative to take action. His socks and shoes were white, transcending above this world. When he took action, hazy mists surrounded him. His left hand shone, and his speed increased greatly. He grabbed forward, displaying an extremely powerful pressure. This was a great divine ability. His palm turned into the heavens, and with a honglong sound, he slapped downwards, about to suppress and kill his enemies. Qin Hao shivered inwardly. The other party's casual attack was actually this powerful. His chest shone, and then a divine rainbow shot into the skies, piercing the heavens, making this place erupt with chaos. A wave of immortal Tao pervaded the air, making the heavens indistinct. Everyone's hearts trembled. When people like this fought, it would definitely split apart heaven and earth, making even ghosts cry out in fear. While feeling great fear, everyone felt a strange excitement as well. How many times would they be able to witness this type of battle strength? Today, they could personally witness it. A trembling sound rang through the void. The heavens that was pierced through formed a larger hand again, crushing downwards, resolute and unmoving. Even after being destroyed, it could still reform. Qin Hao revealed a grave expression. He began to stir on the 5 elements. 5 types of energy erupted. Six-Crowned King is truly heroic, sealing the world under the heavens, ruling over the rise and fall of this world. In the rear, someone shouted. It was precisely the one that had been rescued earlier by Six-Crowned King's sleeve. Noisy. Shi turned around, giving that area a look. His eyes shone, and this time, he truly attacked. The symbols in his pupils condensed, rushing outwards. Those symbols scattered downwards. Silver light surged, arriving in an instant. It was too fast to avoid. That person frantically used precious techniques to defend himself. At the same time, those around him also took action to help him neutralize this disaster. However, something terrifying happened. Those silver symbols flew over, directly breaking through those precious artifacts. With a hong sound, it made the divine-level secret treasures explode. At the same time, the others' precious techniques were scattered, unable to provide aid. A streak of bloody light surged. That individual was pierced through, hacked into 2 in the void as if a blade cleaved through his body, losing his life on the spot. You dare act viciously in front of my face. Six-Crowned King turned around. His expression was still calm, but his words carried a type of might, releasing a tremendous pressure. Six-Crowned King, what awe-inspiring authority. Shi said coldly. He stood on the mountain peak, without any fear. Ning Chuan abandoned Qin Hao and looked at the dual-pupiled user. With a fling of his sleeve, heavenly winds swept about. This time, Shi still didn't move half a step, his eyes shining. However, the golden beam of light that was released formed a wave of tremendous pressure. Following a hong sound, the world distorted, divine light released in 10,000 streaks, making this place erupt with disorder. All types of scenes couldn't be seen any longer, drowned out by the bone texts. Fallen Immortal Ridge, it was unknown just how many people gasped, their hearts trembling greatly. They continuously backed up out of fear of getting caught in the blast wave. They were already quite far away to begin with. When everything calmed down, the two of them stood in the void, the mountain region below them in tatters. Truly exceeding my expectations, Ning Chuan said softly. He came for a single sinner's blood descendant, yet in the end, two more great young supreme beings came. You came for me, right? I'll keep you company then. At this moment, Shahao spoke. He took a step into the void, confronting this individual, descendants of chaos and sin. I came precisely for you. Ning Chuan spoke. His silver hair shone, pupils like starry streams, sparkling and brilliant. The dragon patterns on his forehead appeared. He was aloof and free from vulgarity, his white clothes exceptional, but exuded an indescribable pressure. As he looked at Shahao, it was as if a king from an immortal domain descended to carry out judgment. You think you're worth anything? Please stop acting like you are someone important. Shahao replied. This person was truly quite strong, someone he needed to treat cautiously, because he was powerful to the extent of making all sects' heavenly talents feel despair. The sinner who has the thickest impure blood, you will be suppressed. Six Crown King said. This was the first time he became this serious. Previously, his expression had always been calm. Along this strike, with a turn of his hands, clouds formed, and then with another flip, rain was produced. His palms and fingers moved, bringing about a wave of crazy winds, as if the pillars that supported the heavens were collapsing. His power was tremendous. Great winds split apart the skies, a rain of light surging outwards. This was just a casual method he released. Ning Chuan had studied many things, visiting all different sects, learning the secret methods of Fire Cloud Cavern, Phantom Drake Dao Gate and many other sects. He truly had too many precious techniques, proficient in many profound mysteries, clouds with one turn of the hand, rain with another. Someone cried out. Those clouds carried wisps of chaotic energy, and the rain was from the divine force of Great Yin. Now that they merged together, a terrifying attack was formed. This was a terrifying precious technique from Phantom Drake Dao Gate. The so-called clouds from dragons overturning seas and rivers was displayed right here, making this place erupt with commotion. Shahao released a cold snort. With a raise of his hand, his palms and fingers shone. He also used a secret method, forming a large dragon. His 5 fingers condensed into a dragon imprint, the loose move he obtained from Origin's Sky Secret Realm. Shahao didn't get angry, continuing to remain calm and collected. He had never been weaker than another, so how could he become intimidated by this? I just fear that in the end, it'll be me who kills you with a flip of my hand. At the same time, Qin Hao walked through the void, forcing his way over. Who do you think you are, randomly taking action, fighting against whoever you wish? I am here to kill you. He had a competitive heart, or else he wouldn't have wished to exchange pointers with his older brother, and then fight a great battle against Shi Yi. Now that Six Crown King descended with such domineeringness, how could he endure it? He wanted to fight. The void trembled. Shi Yi walked over step by step, his black hair falling down like a waterfall, eyes resplendent as he said, I originally didn't have any karma with you, but you dare say what sinner's blood descendant in front of my face? How Stone Clan has sin. I can only kill you now, he came here for me. Shahao said, forcing his way forward, let me. None of you are allowed to fight over this with me. Qin Hao shouted, rushing forward, not allowing the two others to take action. He wanted to fight a great battle against Six Crown King. This scene left everyone speechless. Fallen Immortal Ridge, no one knew what to say, their hearts feeling great alarm. Who was this? Six Crown King, someone who sealed the world under heaven, his might oppressing all others at this cultivation level. Who didn't fear him? Yet today, these 3 individuals actually wanted to kill him. This left everyone present speechless. When had Ning Chuan, who had moved unhindered from past to present, unmatched in 6 eras, become like this, being looked down on like this by others? This was something completely unprecedented. Without a doubt, Stone Clan's 3 brothers were domineering, all of them possessing a powerful conviction and arrogance, believing firmly in themselves, not like others who saw Six Crown King as someone heavier than a mountain, higher than the sky. All right. Don't lose any face for Stone Clan. This little 6 kid will be left to you. Shi Yi stopped, his face carrying a look of amusement, his words de-emphasizing the situation. When this sentence was spoken, all sides became silent. Little 6 kid. How could these 3 words even leave anyone's mouth? This was directly slandering one of the most powerful experts from past to present. Qin Hao's long life battle clothes shone, complementing Immortal Mountain's secret art, increasing the technique more than just a few times. This scene was extremely shocking. Even Ning Chuan couldn't help but be startled. His palm and fingers shone, blasting outwards, treating this opponent seriously. Wasn't there enmity between them? They were still confronting each other not long ago, about to tear each other apart. Now, they are actually joining hands. The sinner's blood descendants are standing together. This is not looking good at all. In the rear, Ning Chuan's followers spoke softly, feeling a chill run down their backs. They were now extremely worried, even daring to say the words sinner's blood in front of our faces. I feel like letting you all live. Is the true sin? Shi spoke. The battle clothes on his body shone. No one thought that he would speak out like this and even take action. Dual-pupiled user, known as an undefeated legend. He was extremely intimidating, and when he spoke, he already closed in with a great halberd in hand, sweeping it through the masses. Not good. These people felt great fear, doing everything they could to resist, hoping to last until Ning Chuan could provide aid. They believed that Six Crown King definitely wouldn't just watch without doing anything. However, Shi was just too powerful. With a wave of the great halberd, heaven and earth split apart, immediately hacking apart an expanse of bloody mist. 8 or 9 individuals cried out miserably, their precious artifacts destroyed and divine abilities scattered. Their bodies were cleaved through. At the same time, the dual pupils shone. As if heaven and earth were opening, 2 terrifying streaks of light swept outwards, blasting the remaining people into bloody mists, an even more horrifying attack. Ning Chuan was truly moved, but Shahao had already moved through the air, his first move immediately the Kuan Peng technique. He moved through the sky, blocking this place. When the multicolored light scattered, all of the people behind him were killed by the dual pupils. Only a single exceptional talent made it through this disaster. His entire body was covered in blood. His heart was beating crazily as he shifted backwards tens of thousands of zhong. This time, Shahao took action, because the exceptional talent was a bit closer to him. With a move of his Kuan Peng wings, like a divine rainbow through the sky, he quickly flew over. Six Crown King, save me. Even though he was a young outstanding talent, compared to the 2 stones, he was just too lacking. He was first heavily wounded by Shi, and now he was being pursued by Shahao. All the courage he had completely vanished. In the outside world, all sects were shaken. Of course, the most worried were Fire Cloud Cavern, Phantom Drake Dao Gate, and the others. They overlooked Sin Province, seeing it as their life mission to oppress them. When they saw how dazzling Stone Clan's 3 brothers were, they were all stupefied, feeling their scalps turning numb. Meanwhile, those 2 big ones were too dangerous, actually wishing to quickly get rid of Ning Chuan, if not for us not knowing if those by the desolate border have all died, unable to tell if they can still return. We would have flattened Sin Province a long time ago and not leave behind a trace of life force. An elder in the outside world with chaotic mists coiling about him was seated within an ancient war chariot, speaking to himself with a divine will others couldn't detect. Great Dao patterns could be seen within those eyes, the scene frightening. Nothing bad will happen to Six Crown King, right? Some people felt worried. These were all individuals closely related to Ning Chuan, people who now felt deeply worried. This type of situation was anything but reassuring, to the extent where it could be said to be terrible to the extreme. I hope Ning Chuan can look down on Immortal Ancient, suppress Nest Realm, and kill those 3 enemies. I believe in Six Crown King's might. He has reigned unmatched in 6 eras, so he naturally has his outstanding points. I want to personally witness his glory, slaughtering all of these sinners' blood descendants. Someone spoke, their eyes blazing as they stared at the monument. Immortal Ancient, Nest Realm, little cousin, it seems like you are still too young, about to suffer a loss. Shi moved through the void. He moved forward, ready to take action at any time. On the other side, Shahao didn't hesitate either. When facing this type of arrogant person, the best method was being simple and direct, quickly striking him down. I wish to continue fighting with him. Qin Hao was unresigned. Even though he knew that he wasn't Ning Chuan's opponent, he still wanted to continue fighting for a bit. I heard that the best way of entering the vicious nest is through a blood sacrifice. By using the blood essence of an expert as sacrifice, it could open up a mysterious path. His body carries a wave of extraordinary true blood, so I think it won't be that bad of a choice, Shi said, perfect as sacrificial material. Shahao nodded. With a hong sound, the Kuan Peng wings appeared, rushing forward, displaying the most powerful methods. Kai. At the same time, Shi's eyes widened, terrifying light splitting the sky as they blasted at Ning Chuan. Everyone became shocked. Three great sinners' blood descendants took action at the same time, their methods reaching into the heavens, making others' souls tremble. Even Luo Dao, Lao Nichen, and Lu Yi were speechless, all of their jaws dropping. As for the others, there was even less of a need to talk about them. All of them were stupefied. The three of them are going to join hands to quickly eliminate Ning Chuan, using him as an sacrificial offering. All of the creatures were petrified like clay sculptures. Many people sensed that Ning Chuan was unlucky, going to fall tragically. As for the outside world, a few people's hearts were already shoved up to their throats. They knew that after encountering these savage three brothers, even Six Crown King would bleed, difficult to stop them alone. Fallen Immortal Ridge was a place lush with vegetation. The large trees reached into the sky, enormous vines winding about the mountain. The portion of mountain stone that was revealed was a dark red color, rumored to be left behind after being soaked in immortal blood. Four great experts stood in the void, exerting their pressure. A terrifying aura pervaded the air, one that became more and more terrifying. Metal chains sounded, ringing between heaven and earth. This sound wasn't all that resounding, nor was it ear-piercing, but it gave others a hair-raising feeling, making their souls unsteady and their breathing about to stop. In the mountain region, all of the observers were shocked, their faces lacking color. They retreated in horror. This was Ning Chuan. His white clothes were exceptional, as he stood tall at the center of the stage. A golden symbol flickered, and then it took form. A golden chain emerged in his palm. This was quite mysterious. That golden divine chain released sounds of metal clashing as it slowly moved out from his palm, its radiance resplendent. When it took form, it made one's soul tremble and their hearts shake. Everyone felt uneasy, feeling a great fear. They felt like they need to bow down in worship, heaven's trial. There were people whose lips were trembling with fear as they spoke these words. This was Ning Chuan's powerful precious technique, an unmatched method. In the past, he relied on this technique to suppress who knew how many enemies, forcing outstanding talents of all clans to bow down and kowtow. They couldn't rival Ning Chuan's power at all. Ning Chuan's snow-white clothes were exceptional, making him appear incomparably otherworldly. His entire body released a warm radiance, untainted by the mortal world. His shining silver hair scattered down, his eyes deep, his face refined without the slightest blemish. His entire being exuded an exceptional bearing. The golden divine chain in his right hand smashed downwards, forming a stark contrast with the gentle radiance. It represented a type of unrivaled might. Symbols surged brilliantly. Qin Hao released a cold snort, the one most unwilling to accept this. 5 elements evolve, collapse the heavens and overturn the earth. He released a short shout. Qin Hao was still young. He was always someone who hated losing, carrying a competitive heart. He took the initiative to attack. 5 colored light erupted, turning into 5 immortal swords, flying at Six Crown King to remove his head. Kai sounds rang out continuously, and cracks appeared in the void. Heaven and earth undying, trial of the great Tao. Ning Chuan said softly. Golden divine chains shone, covering heaven and earth. It was just an instant, yet it extended out several dozen li, winding about like a snake, surrounding everything within several dozen li. Even Shihao and Shiyi were wrapped within, all of them surrounded by the golden symbols. This type of scene was too terrifying, leaving the crowd shivering in fear. Ning Chuan was just a single person, yet he simultaneously attacked 3 great sinners' blood descendants, powerful to a ridiculous level. Heaven overflowing bone texts erupted. A golden world was formed here, becoming a sea of divine force. Everyone was stunned. The cultivators in fallen immortal ridge backed up further and further. A few creatures directly collapsed under the shocking pressure in the forest, their bodies shuddering uncontrollably. Many people were trembling with fear, their souls shaken up. They couldn't help but bow down in that direction, heaven's trial, the great Tao suppressing enemies. When the divine chains moved through the skies, all deities would be suppressed. From the distance, a powerful exceptional talent sighed. His heart was alarmed and his body was shaking uncontrollably. This type of power left one shivering in fear. It was difficult to defend against. It was rumored that once the golden divine chains appeared, even deities would tremble. This was a trial against all deities, suppressing all experts. In addition, this was not directly used on the flesh, but was an imprisonment of the divine senses, dragging out the soul to face a trial. Ning Chuan towered there, his white clothes fluttering about, aloof and otherworldly. That place was incomparably peaceful, with great Dao flower petals fluttering about, sparkling brightly. He became the center of this world. A golden divine chain extended outwards, winding about a space of several tens of li. Qin Hao struggled angrily. He felt as if his soul was going to leave his body. It was bound by the golden symbols. He struggled with difficulty, but he found it difficult to break free. However, the golden divine chains appeared layers after layers. They wrapped around him again, binding his soul and suppressing him once again. This was a terrifying attack that continuously wore down Qin Hao's magical force, exhausting his foundational energy. When he reached a critical point, a fatal attack would then be added. Shatter for me. Qin Hao roared. His chest shone again, about to destroy all of the golden divine chains. However, right at this moment, metallic sounds rang out again between heaven and earth. Ning Chuan's palm also shone. A blood-colored divine chain appeared, similarly resplendent, but it lacked the peacefulness, instead carrying a wave of killing intent. Immediately afterwards, the world became bone-chillingly cold. There was a ruthless and cruel aura. That blood-colored divine chain erupted, quickly shooting outwards to kill its enemies, shackles of deities, heaven's trial. Ning Chuan said softly, his voice moving heaven and earth. It was clear that this blood-colored divine chain and the golden divine chain complemented each other, a type of trial, an adjudication. It was beyond terrifying. Qin Hao roared, going all out in defense. The golden divine chain bound his soul, about to drag him into the void. Meanwhile, that blood-colored divine chain streaked through the air to crush him to death, immortal Dao obliteration. Qin Hao shouted. At this moment, his chest seemed to contain a small sun. It continuously released light, making his entire being shine resplendently. A type of natural law pervaded the air. It was incomparably great, shocking everyone in fallen immortal ridge. At this moment, it was as if a true immortal descended, covering the world with his might. Ning Chuan was surprised. This was the first time his expression changed. At the same time, Shi Yi's area also erupted with brilliant radiance. Both of them moved, killing energy overflowing into the heavens. With a hong sound, it was as if the void ignited, the golden divine chains and blood-colored divine chains breaking apart inch by inch, the destruction extending towards Ning Chuan. The scene of Qin Hao's magical force being exhausted, the situation of him almost unable to hold on was turned around. The trial and adjudication magical chains were destroyed. Little six kid, only amounts to this much. Remember, this is not a besieging, but rather a slaughter. Both stones took action at the same time to kill Ning Chuan. Only at this moment could they be considered to have truly erupted with power. Qin Hao roared angrily as well, rushing over. This everyone began to tremble. The situation is changing. Everyone watched nervously. A single one of us is enough to kill you, but it wouldn't be as refreshing as slaughtering you like this. Shi Yi laughed out loud. When the spectators heard this, they were all greatly shaken. The Stone Clan brothers were clearly extremely powerful. They attacked together, only wishing to slaughter Six Crown King, eliminate his six-era glory. Do you really believe you all will succeed? Ning Chuan said coldly. His white clothes fluttered about, his body immediately erupting with the most resplendent radiance. His hands formed imprints. Cold killing intent pervaded the air, except death. Qin Hao shouted. As for the two stones, they had long reached the front lines, releasing their most ferocious attacks. This battle was destined to be short. They all used their most terrifying methods, the Stone Clan brothers wishing to slaughter Ning Chuan. Meanwhile, Six Crown King was also going to decide life and death at this moment. Heaven and earth trembled. This place was submerged under brilliant light. Human figures flew out in reverse, natural laws rushing into the sky, great cracks extending in the void. Nest World was greatly shaken up. In the void, countless stars appeared. Great stars moved about one after another, as if there was a starry stream, surrounding Six Crown King. In the outside world, a few heavenly deities' expressions changed, heaven-mending technique. A sect master said softly. That body that looked like it was pierced through reappeared in the rear. Shi Yi was unharmed. Meanwhile, he also released a streak of divine light that penetrated Six Crown King's shoulder, causing blood to splash outwards. Dual pupil user looked like he was going to attack indiscriminately, but actually used the heaven-mending technique to recover, and then used his own attack to injure his opponent. A sect master spoke, commenting on this a step further. Even someone as powerful as Six Crown King was injured. drawing blood. At this moment, Shahao pulled a magical chain, and with a light shake, the stars in the sky all swirled before ultimately exploding. Lightning radiance overflowed everywhere, terrifying. Everyone shivered in fear. Ning Chuan released a low roar. His body shone, bone texts interweaved, resisting this attack, all of this while continuing his attacks. Heaven and earth became chaotic, lightning poured down endlessly. When everything calmed down, Ning Chuan's right arm was scorched black with blood dripping outwards. Bright red drops of blood floated there, dyeing the void red. However, the youngest Qin Hao suffered an attack from his finger. Blood trickled out from the corner of his mouth. Don't mind it. Your experience is lacking, there's no rush in fighting someone like him. If he was killed with just a few moves and died just like that, he wouldn't be the little six kid. Shahao consoled. Bright red blood floated in the sky, not falling downwards, instead floating in the air in a glaring manner. They were like pieces of blood diamonds. These were Ning Chuan's divine blood. One arm was scorched black, covered in blood, and a shoulder was pierced through, a dark red color flowing from that as well. It was extremely shocking. The scene calmed down. All of the spectators shivered inwardly, all of them feeling suffocated, intimidated by the powerful wave of fluctuations. Six Crown King was injured. This was a shocking great event. In the past, who could injure him? Even exceptional talents, the most powerful young supreme beings of a clan, could only crawl before him, their corpses laying at his feet. They weren't his opponent at all. All of you will be punished with death. Ning Chuan's voice was calm, but a terrifying pressure was released. A wing sounded. The beads of blood in the void scattered, forming a scarlet mist that surrounded this place, immediately making everything blurry. Kill. Following a light shout from Six Crown King, this heaven and earth began to rumble and blood-colored symbols flickered about. This world seemed to have turned into a furnace. This left everyone feeling shocked. Scarlet-colored symbols flourished, covering the sky in dark redness. Bone texts interweaved, shining with incomparable brilliance. What's happening? In the mountain forest, many creatures cried out strangely. The entire world unexpectedly turned a blood color. Killing energy shocked the world. Immediately afterwards, the world erupted with endless murderous lights that swept towards Stone Clan's three brothers. Those beads of blood were unexpectedly like this, filling the sky and dyeing heaven and earth red. They interwove into the most resplendent bone texts, producing the greatest murderous art. In the distance, the most powerful geniuses from different clans were trembling. This type of fluctuation was too shocking, impossible to defend against. Kill, 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 kill. In the curtain of bloody light, Six Crown King Ning Chuan spoke these 5 words in succession. The wave of killing intent drowned out heaven and earth, shaking Nest Realm and leaving everyone shocked. Symbols shone resplendently, precious technique splitting apart the sky. Forget about the battlefield itself, there were creatures watching from the distance who mysteriously died one after another, falling from the void. What was going on? Many people were horrified. They were already far enough, yet there were still people who encountered disaster, except death. Qin Hao roared. 5 element divine light swirled around his body. His chest shone, and a mysterious precious technique was displayed, blasting towards Ning Chuan. 6 Dao rise and fall. Ning Chuan released a short shout on the battlefield. A sea of blood surged, the great waves boundless. They all turned into symbols, drowning out this place. A great intense collision erupted. This place became incomparably brilliant. Everyone was shaken up. Worthy of being Six Crown King, the blood droplets that came out from his body unexpectedly forming a sea of blood. It was too terrifying. When the world calmed down again, the sea of blood disappeared, and Six Crown King's sleeves were tattered, his white clothes damaged. His expression was grave. There was a divine ring around him, as he treated this battle seriously. On the other side, the 2 stones pressed forward, their expressions without any fluctuations, only carrying the most powerful killing intent. Qin Hao wiped off the mouthful of blood at the corner of his lips and said with a soft voice, truly underestimated him. He's even more powerful than the legends. This time, the dual pupils opened heaven and earth. Shi Yi used his eye techniques. At the same time, Shahao also moved the Kuan Peng wings, covering the sky as it moved, severing heaven and earth. Meanwhile, Qin Hao also rushed over, symbols completely erupting. Ning Chuan flew outwards, blood flowing out from the corner of his mouth. He took on a serious blow, his body suffering damage, Six-Crown King has suffered serious damage. Everyone said with trembling voices. Everyone understood that a confrontation of the peak was being carried out. The battle that was originally going to continue was now concentrated on this moment. Precious technique surged, deciding victory and defeat in the shortest amount of time possible. Everyone's hearts went cold. The unmatched Six-Crown King was going to suffer danger. He might truly fall here. The bracelet shone, on it a scarlet sparkling bird beak, a purple scale, a golden beast tooth, 6 types in total. They looked incomparably divine, 6-world reincarnation. Ning Chuan shouted loudly. At this moment, heaven and earth became different. Light shone resplendently, as if 6 great worlds appeared. Millions and millions of creatures were shouting. This secret treasure was definitely terrifying. 6 true bones, each representing 6 exceptional talents, most powerful divine abilities, now appearing in this world, rushing out murderously together. Forget about the people inside Immortal Ancient, even the expressions of the older generation figures in the outside world changed. 6 types of great world shocking divine abilities were being used together to display an unmatched might. This place erupted with noise. Divine light shone everywhere, covering heaven and earth. 6 types of precious techniques were layered on top of each other, intertwining and revolving as they pressed forward, erasing everything in their way. Quite the treasure. Shahao's eyes shone resplendently as he stared at that bracelet. This secret treasure was definitely extraordinary. He had seen it before in Spirit Realm, but it was far from being as powerful back then as it was now. He could also feel that it had a growth characteristic. Those 6 bones seemed to still be alive, containing life. 6 world reincarnations is it? I feel like it suits me quite well. Shahao said softly. Then, he directly used the reincarnation precious technique, using it to attack. Heaven and earth rumbled. Symbols shone resplendently. Qin Hao was shocked. The bone in his chest automatically activated without his control. His mind was moved, coordinating with his older brother's attack, also displaying this precious technique. It was also the reincarnation precious technique. However, what Qin Hao comprehended wasn't quite the same, because that bone wasn't too complete. Right now, it actually supplemented Shahao's great divine ability. Interesting. This bracelet isn't bad. Shi Yi said, his eyes shining. He also displayed a terrifying divine ability. His eyes produced a scenery of all things withering away. Endless killing intent pervaded the air. He released a great divine ability that destroyed all things. Moreover, he rushed over like Shahao to seize that precious bracelet. In the end, that bracelet fell into the mountain region, still glowing with radiance. No one went after it temporarily. Symbols swirled about, interweaving into 2 dreadful beams of light that fired out from his eyes. That radiance was unexpectedly accompanied with chaotic energy. It was terrifying beyond compare. At the same time, a sword appeared with a chiong sound, condensed from reincarnation symbols. It was extremely sharp, its brilliance dazzling the world. In the distance, Qin Hao's mind pounded. The reincarnation his brother grasped was different from his own after all. He felt like that symbol seemed to have transformed, becoming even more profound than his own. After his death, has the reincarnation evolved a step further? He speculated. Bloody light flashed. Qin Hao flew outwards, coughing out a large mouthful of blood in the void. Qin Hao was injured. Has Ning Chuan won? Six-Crown King possesses exceptional style. He is going to win after all. Everyone trembled inwardly. Was Ning Chuan actually going to mount a comeback and kill his enemies? Unfortunately, a roar of anger and unwillingness sounded. When the mist scattered, everyone saw a shocking scene. In Shahao's hand was a light sword condensed from reincarnation symbols, and right now, it pierced through Ning Chuan's head. The pair of Kuan Peng wings on his back severed Ning Chuan's body at the waist, hacking him into 2 pieces. In addition, there were 2 bloody holes on Ning Chuan's body that were releasing chaotic energy. Those were brought about by the dual pupil user's beams of light. This body had already perished. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.